Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by Pure Dating. I am Nino and we're changing the world's dating system. Today's video, I'm going to talk about a very important topic, something I hear about all the time. Is marriage really important? Isn't marriage just a piece of paper? To understand why marriage is important, we need to go back to the beginning. You see, God created Adam and Eve. But before there was Adam and Eve, there was simply Adam. There was one creation that God made, and he called this creation Adam. And many of you know the story. God took a rib from Adam, and out of that rib, he fashioned Eve. And then those two people, those two separate people now, Adam, the masculine, Eve, the feminine, they came together in a marriage covenant. The book of Genesis puts it this way: for this cause, a man will leave his father and mother and will cleave to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So you see, a marriage covenant is actually a return to that original state of creation. When a man and a woman come together in marriage, they are becoming one flesh. Mystically and literally, they are now one. You see, this cannot happen outside of a marriage covenant. And let's deal with an objection here. Many people say this all the time, and I hear this. Hey, well, we love each other, and that's all that matters. Who are you to tell me that we can't move in together, that we can't engage in sex just because we're not married? What is marriage anyway? It's just a piece of paper. We love each other. So in the modern mentality, it is the love of two people that authenticates the relationship. But this is a tremendous falsehood. It is not the feeling of love for my wife that makes us one. What makes my wife and I one is that we are in a marriage covenant. And when we entered into this marriage covenant, we became one flesh. God joined us together. Our Lord Jesus Christ actually talked about this very thing when his apostles were discussing marriage and divorce and remarriage. Jesus really laid it all out there, and he said, if any man divorces his wife and marries another woman, he commits adultery. And the people said, how can this be? This is crazy. And Jesus basically said to them, you guys don't understand the scriptures. And he went all the way back to that passage I shared with you in Genesis. And he quoted it to his followers. And he said, when a man and a woman come together in marriage, they become one flesh. And therefore, this union can never be broken. We call this the indissolubility of marriage. When a man and a woman come together in a marriage covenant, that union is indissoluble. The state has no authority to break it. You have no authority to break it. I have no authority to break it. And so when we come in to this beautiful covenant called marriage, that union is now indissoluble. Hey, let me share a question that might be in some of your minds. Let's say that you're living with your boyfriend or girlfriend and you're not in a marriage covenant, and you're wondering, what should I do? Here's my counsel for you. I would counsel you to move out of that situation. One of you needs to move out, and you need to separate yourself for a season of sexual purity. Begin to pray, begin to seek God, talk with your pastor, talk with your parents. And if you all truly believe that you are supposed to be together, then set a date to be married. And at that point, you then can come together in a marriage covenant and then move in together and do it the right way. I know that's really hard counsel for many of you, but remember what Jesus taught us, that whoever seeks to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for Christ's sake will find it. There is no cross that we can bear that even compares to what Jesus Christ has done for us. And if you are a Christian, and you're living with somebody in this state of sexual sin, I encourage you to separate from that, to move out and begin to live a life of sexual purity. The human government has no authority and no ability to bring two people together in this mysterious union. It is only God that has the power and authority to truly authorize a marriage. And so the piece of paper that people refer to usually refers to a governmental document. That has no authority to bind two people together. Marriage is so much more than simply a piece of paper. Remember what I taught you. It is a mystical union through which you become one with another person. And isn't that what we want deep in our soul? That longing that we have to connect with the opposite sex in the most intimate way possible. That was put in your heart by God because He wants you to join together with that person in a marriage covenant. I hope this video has helped you to think about this area a little more. And I know God has a great plan for your future. And I encourage you to wait, to pray, and to let God bring you to that right person that you might one day enter into a marriage covenant and become one flesh with that person. God bless you, and thanks for stopping by Pure Dating.